Welcome to another episode of Eric Reviews. Today, we're just going to be playing just an absolutely amazing game. Stunning visuals, engaging gameplay, hours upon hours of fun to be had. From the brain of Masahiro Sakurai himself, I bring you...
Kirby's Epic Yarn. Okay, come on, don't be a square. Give it a chance, alright? Jeez. So, first of all, it's important to remember that this game wasn't always going to be a Kirby game. Originally, developer Goodfeel was going to make a game about Prince Fluff, who we'll get to later, before they were approached by Nintendo. I imagine that meeting went a little bit something like this.
Wow, Prince Fluff is so cool.
Hey there.
Whoa, it's me, Himoto.
What are you doing, idiot? Out of my way. Let me fix that for you. Presto. It's Kirby.
So, Goodfeel finished up the game and released it for the Wii in 2010, making this the first Kirby game on a home console in 10 years. But does it hold up to the legacy of those that came before it? Well, let's find out. Oh man, the story. Let me tell you, this game knows how to do a video game story right. Let me give you a quick recap. Kirby eats a tomato. This yarn guy gets mad at Kirby. Whoa! Kirby is in a yarn world now. Kirby sees a blue guy, but when Kirby tries to suck the monster up,
the air went right through his body.
So Kirby turns into a car, saves the blue guy, and leaves the monster to
eat his dust.
The blue guy turns out to be Prince Fluff, who explains that the creepy yarn guy earlier is an evil sorcerer responsible for tearing Patchland apart. Then Prince Fluff gets caught by another monster.
Kirby transformed and smashed it to smithereens in a most spectacular fashion.
Then they get some magic yarn and use it to stitch the world back together. And off they go. The rest of the story consists of the pair just kind of finding the rest of the magic yarn in various worlds, with a few brief interludes to show what's going on back in Kirby's homeworld. The situation back there isn't too great. The narrator that I've been splicing in here does a great job of telling the story, and he gives us some great lines to work with too.
It feels like pants.
Story's good. It's what you'd expect from a Kirby game. Pretty memorable too, which is always a plus. Now here's where it becomes really obvious that this wasn't always meant to be a Kirby game. As in the cutscene, Kirby can't use his famous inhaling ability at all. Instead, he uses a yarn whip, which can either pull enemies apart or turn them into balls to chuck at other enemies. The only form of transformations in the game are quite rare and on a much larger scale. Stuff like turning into a UFO, or a car, or a giant machine of destruction and death. It's a nice change of pace, really. Then there's the second major change. Get this, you can't die. You just can't. Your only penalty for being hurt or falling into a pit is losing a few beads.
Now, I know some of you are going to want to just dismiss the game right here, but don't! Hear me out, please. That should be...
The game is very easy, but surprisingly, this doesn't actually take away from the gameplay at all. The ease allows the player to simply take in the environment and enjoy their time. If most games are anywhere from a brisk jog to a treacherous, Indiana Jones-style adventure, then Kirby's Epic Yarn is a pleasant walk on the beach. Nothing wrong with that. The beads you collect throughout the game are used to buy things from the shop, and determine your medal at the end of every level. There are other collectibles in there as well, 2 pieces of furniture, more on that later, and 1 piece of music per level. The game definitely has the exploration part down. And hey, you can even play through the game with Prince Fluff by your side. The entire thing is 2-player. Hijinks generally ensue. Overall, very nice gameplay. It's just pure fun. Okay, I was going to try to talk about the level design separately from the way the game looks, but I just can't. Every level is pleasant in every way. They're very chill, easygoing, simple levels with generally easy platforming. This allows the player to take in the positively charming world they find themselves in. If you haven't noticed,
it's yarn. It's all yarn.
Everything seems soft, nice, the whole world just, well, it feels like
pants.
Just so warm and cozy to jump around in. Then you've got the enemies who kinda just exist. Seriously, most of them just walk around back and forth. They're barely a threat at all. I mean, come on, look at this Waddle Dee. As far as the actual levels themselves, they're not exactly difficult. somewhere between a straight line and a level from the first Mario game. They're definitely built with the visuals in mind. And then of course, you've also got the bosses. Surprisingly, almost all of the bosses are entirely new to the series, no Wispy Woods or Krakow to be seen at all. They're all pretty nice, and they all incorporate the wool theme pretty well. Oh, and the music. Here, just take a listen. Seriously, when it comes to the design and presentation, this game is an absolute joy to experience. Easily one of the most pleasant games I've ever played. Now, when it comes to the bonuses, this game had some pretty big shoes to fill. Kirby games are well known for their minigames. They're an absolute staple of the franchise. Some entire Kirby games are basically just fleshed out minigames. Unfortunately, this is the area where Epic Yarn begins to show its cracks. Sadly, there aren't any minigames that truly feel like smaller, different games like in the others, but it still offers a substantial amount of content. See, when Kirby first comes to Patchland, he gets himself an apartment. You can decorate it with the furniture you find or buy from the shop outside, even though it doesn't serve much of a point. But then you get the opportunity to decorate other apartments for other characters. All of these guys have some sort of game to play, whether it be hide and seek with Zeke, or carrying Carrie to the end of a level. Completing one of their little challenges rewards you with fabric, which acts as wallpaper for your house. These mini-challenges are a lot more fun than they seem at first, generally testing your knowledge of past levels with a new, fun twist. So, all in all, Kirby's Epic Yarn is a very enjoyable experience. I highly recommend it. The game is fairly cheap on eBay, or you could play the 3DS re-release, but, well, that one just doesn't capture the magic of the original. I'll just leave it at that. Let me take a moment here to just recommend Goodfeel's other recent games as well, Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. Maybe I'll take a look at those two sometime? I don't know.
Woshi! It's a double Yoshi explosion!
So, in case you couldn't tell, I just absolutely love this game. But I can't leave it at that. This is a review channel. Gotta give it some sort of like score, you know? So I'm gonna give Kirby's Epic Yarn a rating of Dom Wool out of
Pants.